Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to present for the award of the degree Doctor of Laws honoris causa, Justice Jennifer Yvonne Mokgoro. In 1994, President Mandela appointed 11 judges of the newly created Constitutional Court of South Africa. 2 of these judges were women. One of them was Yvonne Mokgoro, only 44 years old at the time. At the inauguration ceremony of the court held on 14 February 1995, President Mandela said, "Today I rise not as an accused, but on behalf of the people of South Africa, to inaugurate a court South Africa has never had, a court on which hinges the future of our democracy." These words must have filled the relatively young Mokgoro with trepidation, given the enormity of the task ahead. But these words must also have left an indelible impression on her. From 1995 to 2009, Justice Mokgoro served on the Constitutional Court with distinction, taking part in and authoring some of the most groundbreaking judgments in comparative constitutional law. These judgments are still widely read and quoted by academics across the world and have also inspired courts throughout the African continent and the rest of the world. Indeed, one could argue that South Africa's young constitutional democracy might not have survived the challenges to the rule of law we have experienced in the last few years had the first constitutional court not established the firm foundation for democracy which President Mandela spoke about. Justice Mokgoro took up a seat on the court in 1994 with a unique life experience, an experience that is truly inspiring. A second child born to a domestic worker and a railway worker, she grew up in Galeshewe, Kimberley. After matriculating in 1970, she studied nursing and worked as a nurse assistant before picking up another job as a salesperson and later as an administrative clerk in the Ministry of Justice, Bophuthatswana, and then as a maintenance officer and public prosecutor, respectively. She became interested in the study of law after meeting with Robert Sobukwe, obtaining a B. Juris and 2 LLMs from the universities of Bophuthatswana and the University of Pennsylvania between 1982 and 1990. She was called to the academia in 1984, rising through the ranks from lecturer to associate professor at the universities of Bophuthatswana, of the Western Cape, of Pretoria by 1994. This rich life experience and work experience played and has continued to play a critical role in Justice Mokgoro's legal philosophy, approach to adjudication, and personal character. In addition to stressing her sharp intellect and wisdom, Justice Abby Sachs, retired, often speaks fondly of her humanness, empathy, and care, which he has argued served as the glue that held the first court together. Justice Kate O'Regan, also retired, describes her as a person of great integrity with a manifest commitment to the values of our Constitution, who is warm and kind to all whom she meets, and a great inspiration to young people. Particularly evident in the judgments Justice Mokgoro wrote for the court is her clear and distinct commitment to social justice and upholding the rights of the marginalized and vulnerable. In one case, for instance, she held that the government could not exclude permanent residents from social grants simply on account of their nationality. In another, she held that a bank could not repossess and sell the property of its debtors without a court order. In yet another case, she held that a person's home could not be sold for purposes of executing a judgment debt without a court order. Towering as Justice Mokgoro's contribution has been to constitutional jurisprudence, she has also played a leading role as a law reformer in South Africa since 1994. She was a member of the South African Law Reform Commission from 1995 to 2011, serving as its chairperson between 1999 and 2011. Charged with the enormous task of transforming the legal landscape in the light of the Constitution, the Commission was responsible for the unprecedented amount of lawmaking that took place between 1994 and 2021, when Justice Mokgoro was a member and its chair. Vice Chancellor, the weight of judicial office has never weighed Justice Mokgoro down or prevented her from engaging with society outside the courtroom. On the contrary, it has only enabled her to do so with added vigor and enthusiasm. Justice Mokgoro has given public lectures at many universities in South Africa, Europe, and America, and served on the boards of leading civil society organizations, international, African, local, and local, some of which she shared. For her exceptional contribution to constitutionalism, comparative constitutional law, human rights, and social justice, Justice Mokgoro has received 8 honorary doctorates from 2 leading American universities and 6 South African universities, at least 10 other honors and awards, and has been appointed honorary professor by 6 South African universities, including by UCT. In closing, Vice Chancellor, there is a saying among lawyers that says, once a judge, always a judge. Although Justice Mokgoro retired in 2009, she took up an appointment as a judge of the Appeal Court of Lesotho in 2015 and of the Supreme Court of Namibia in 2016, positions which she still holds to date. Through these positions, she has continued to shape the course of constitutionalism on the continent, inspiring judges, lawyers, scholars, and students across the continent and beyond. Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to present for the award of the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, Justice Jennifer Yvonne Mokgoro.